because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know. Now it's showtime.
This Friday, Congress gets to prove if it's on the side of the American people or on the side of a political party. We'll tell you what that means, and let's make some dog biscuits. We'll do that too. Today's show. Come on. Come on, children. Come on. You can do it.
Now it's showtime.
It is the Karel Show. I am Karel. So very glad you are joining me. Well, you know, I went to Los Angeles this weekend. And I went to the Grammy nominee party. And I had a great time. I was sadly disappointed they had no vegan options. They really need to do better in this day and age. Very disappointing, actually. Oh, let me point this down at me here. Very disappointing. But all in all, a fun trip. I almost missed Long Beach this trip. How many of you have left a place and know you can't go back, but then you kind of miss it? I missed the beach. They've done some great improvements on Cherry Beach. I missed the rich areas of Long Beach, the areas that I can't afford. I would move back there if I could live on Ocean, 1st Street, 2nd Street, 3rd Street, 4th Street, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, or 9th, in between basically Alamitos and the park, Recreation Park, which is a broad swath of land, but you cannot get a condo for less than $500,000 or $600,000 with an enormous HOA, and you can't get a home starting at about $750,000 all the way up to 1.4, 1.5 million. And those are just regular houses. My house on 7th Street is currently on Zillow, not for sale, but $1.2 million for the house that I sold. So I couldn't go back. And it's sad. I am priced. I would go back, actually. So much of my life is there, and watching the Belmont Pier and the sunrise over it, or watching the sunset over the Queen Mary. 43 years of life in one place. But I can't afford it. There's no way. And there are other places I could go for less money that are just as nice. So I can't go back. I missed it. There's rainbow sidewalks in the gay district still that really made me happy and proud. And made me want to live there. Made me want to live in the gay district. I saw more gays in Long Beach in 2 days than I did have in Las Vegas in 8 years. And then the Grammy party, but I did not miss the traffic. I don't understand. I just don't get it. Saturday it was gridlocked. Sunday it was gridlocked. I don't get it. Went up to a great venue called the Astor. It's a hotel and social club. Rooftop party. Lots of glamorous, Music Academy people, Recording Academy and nominees, and Grace Potter performed and several others. And it was a lovely, lovely time. If you're on my social media, Karel Official, you'll see me in front of a giant Grammy and with Capitol Records and the Hollywood sign behind me. And I had imposter syndrome. Like, what am I doing here? But then I realized I belong there more than a lot of the people that are there because I've been making music for 30 years. But anyway, so it was a good trip. But it was a sad trip. Traveling is horrible nowadays. The storm was happening. Plus, just the whole schlepping, from your car to the gate is like a mile. It really is. Airports are just, they're crazy the way they're set up. And then, of course, the seats are as small as can be. And boarding is a problem. And unless you're rich. If you're rich, there's the lounge, and then you just walk on. If you're not rich, you know what I mean. So traveling nowadays has gotten to be quite a burden. But that's the way that is. And I bring this up because I felt awkward at the Grammy nominee party with innocent people being shot by ICE or, customs, whatever. DHS, and no one really doing anything. Kristi Noem coming out lying, saying the guy's a domestic terrorist. He wasn't. He brought a gun. He was allowed to. Hello, MAGA. Didn't they all bring guns to January 6th? Those good, nice people who were all pardoned? He was disarmed, and they still shot him 10 times. Then they went on TV and painted him a terrorist. He was not. We have video. Even Fox News is now challenging people in the administration, saying, we have the video. Stop lying. He was not interfering. He was not attacking law enforcement. He did not have a gun. So everything that you're saying is incorrect. And it's getting really, really depressing. I question whether the Grammys and Oscars should even go on. You know, but there is a little bit of hope. And let me tell you what that is when we come back on this Monday, January 26th on The Karel Show, where you're a patron.
If you're not visiting reallykarel.com daily, you're missing out. Get the podcast, videos, and the blog, including recipes at reallykarel.com. That's really KAREL.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
So I appreciate each and every one of you that takes the time to listen. I really appreciate you patrons at patreon.com/reallykarel. That's patreon.com/reallykarel, Karel. Those of you that visit my website, reallykarel.com, or follow me on Instagram, Karel Official. There is no TikTok. TikTok was bought by Larry Ellison. They sent out their new terms of service. It says they can collect data on your sexual orientation, your sexual politics. It says that. Sexual orientation, sexual politics, your citizenship status, and your immigration status. And it says they can scan all of your videos and posted content to find out that information. Aaron Parnas can't post to TikTok. They keep censoring his videos. TikTok is done. If you're on TikTok, get off. Cancel your account and delete it. It was better when the Chinese owned it. And isn't that saying something? TikTok was actually better and your information was more secure when it was owned by communist China than Larry Ellison, Donald Trump's friend. Isn't that sad? Isn't that sad? So, this weekend, we might be in a different situation. And let me tell you why. The government funding bill only goes through Saturday. So if on Friday, 60 senators don't vote to push the bills through, the government shuts down again. One of those bills is DHS and ICE. So Democrats could use what little power they have and stop the funding of DHS and ICE. And so immediately it would shut down. So next week, they would have no money. I know Trump will find it somewhere. I do. He'll do an emergency appropriation, but he can't. The president can't fund anything. Only Congress can. And ICE could be defunded this weekend, or this week, this Friday. Now, I have done this. I encourage you to do this. Because look, we want immigration and custom enforcement. We do. Although it just started in 2008, by the way. We want our borders to be secure from criminals, rapists, sex traffickers like Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. We want it so Donald Trump could not cross our border. And there's no other way to say that. He is a convicted felon, sexual predator, and is all over the Epstein files for sexual trafficking. So we want someone like him to not be able to come into the country. So the notion that we don't need border enforcement, no liberal is for getting rid of that. We just don't want Americans being killed by a paramilitary group of Proud Boys that has been monopolized by Donald Trump to be his own personal army. So if it's going to take shutting it down in order to rehab it, we don't want concentration camps known as detention centers. We don't want 5-year-old boys detained. We don't want people dragged out of their homes without warrants. We don't want any of that. That's not what we had in mind. And I don't think it's what MAGA had in mind. We don't want someone being shot and killed and they say, oh, well, he was shot and killed because he was carrying a gun. That is legal. My meme for the day at Karel Official on Instagram is me and Ember hugging a crying Constitution on the steps of Capitol Hill. So the Democrats have one card to play. I emailed yesterday Jackie Rosen and Cortez Maestro, the two senators from Nevada. And I want you all to look up who your senator is and today send them an email and be very precise and specific and say, if you vote for the funding of the DHS and ICE, you are losing my vote in November, and I will vote for anyone that opposes you. You hear that, Cory Booker? We saw you on MS Now saying you weren't going to vote to shut down the government. It is the only card the Democrats have to play to protect us from the DHS and ICE. If they don't play it, it'll be why Democrats lose. If they don't play it, people are going to sit home in the midterms, and Democrats will lose. So they better snap to their senses. They had better realize that this is their only card. They need 60 votes to pass. There are not 60 Republican members of the Senate. Therefore, 3 to 5 Democrats are going to have to go in on the vote. We need to tell the Democratic Party if any Democrat votes to fund the DHS and ICE as it exists today, they will be removed from office. We will primary them. We will get them out. We will not vote for them or anyone in their party. It is time for tough love with the Democrats. Either stand up because people are being murdered. What happened to that lovely young man in Minneapolis was murder. He was shot 10 times. He committed no crime. It was murder. And for that Bovino guy to be out there saying that the agents are the victims and not him, I can't wait for his trial. I can't wait for Kristi Noem's trial. Because if they're not tried, if Kristi Noem isn't impeached, and if these people don't face a jury, then there is no rule of law in America. Then we have become an authoritarian regime with zero accountability because they committed murder. I don't care if they're wearing an ice vest. I don't care what they're wearing. They're murderers. The people that shot Renee Good, that's murder. And the people that shot the gentleman yesterday, that's murder. That is not border enforcement. He was not an illegal alien. That was a criminal that was resisting. He was an American filming who had every right to carry a weapon. That's just the way that is. So if Democrats don't step up, if Democrats do not step up, it says we have no audio. I'm broadcasting audio. What's going on? It is plugged in all the way. Everything is going here. According to what I'm seeing, everything is going. Coming in and out. I don't know what that means. It says it's... I'm hearing it on YouTube. Coming in and out. I don't know what... I'm hearing it. I'm hearing it constantly on YouTube. It says it's... I'm hearing it on YouTube. Yeah, so... I'm hearing it on YouTube. Yeah, audio is fine. So if you guys are having audio problems, it's not me. Yep. Audio is fine. Restart YouTube or whatever. Okay. Sorry about that, but I was getting multiple complaints about audio. All right. Anyway, So it is really all about, maybe I'm being censored. I wouldn't put it past YouTube. TikTok will now not let you criticize ICE. If you go on TikTok and criticize ICE, your videos are blocked. I saw hundreds of content creators on Instagram saying that they can't post to TikTok, that their videos are being pulled down. In America. Didn't happen when the Chinese owned it. So the Democrats truly, truly need to stop the DHS in its tracks and remind them that they work for... See, here's my problem. Everybody is acting like they work for Donald Trump, okay? Or that they work for MAGA. Everybody in government right now is acting like they work for Trump and MAGA. They don't. If we left MAGA to pay for government, if every blue state and every Democrat refused to pay taxes, the government would crumble. They don't work for MAGA and they don't work for Trump because MAGA takes more money from the government than it gives. They work for all of us. All of us. And we want a DHS, a Department of Homeland Security, that actually makes us safe. I have friends that are not going to events because now Ubers and taxis. There was an actress on Instagram in tears because she left a comedy show in New York and her cab driver was stopped for the third time and harassed by ICE. And she was terrorized by ICE. More Americans are being terrorized by this organization. People are afraid to take Ubers. They're afraid to take taxis. My friend Steve wouldn't go to an event this weekend because on his passport, even though he has one, it says born in Mexico. Now, he's been naturalized since he was an infant. Unlike Nicki Minaj. Nicki Minaj, the big Trumper, according to all that's out there, is an illegal immigrant. She was brought to America at 5 from Trinidad and Tobago. She never got U.S. citizenship. There is an online petition to deport Nicki Minaj. They say she's sucking up to Trump for citizenship. Now, she can afford to buy one of those golden visas, but the fact is, she's an illegal. Throw her out. Throw her out. She's calling Don Lemon a cock-a-doodle-doo sucker. Throw her out. So the Democrats have one chance, to stop this. And if they don't, and they give us platitudes and, well, we didn't want to shut down the government, blah, 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 blah. Nope. It is time for you to act like your words. Okay? Do you hear me, Democrats? You've been talking about Nazis and authoritarianism and the decline of democracy and democracy crumbling and all. Those are powerful fucking words, Democrats. And you've been blathering like that since Kamala was running. Oh, it's the end of democracy as we know it. He'll be a tyrant. He'll be a dictator. He'll get us into wars. He'll cause civil war. Well, he's doing all of that fucking shit. And what are you doing? You have one job on this ship, to quote Sigourney Weaver, and that is Friday, do not vote to fund DHS and ICE unless they agree to huge reforms. Shut down detention centers. Don't open more. Remove ICE. They are readying 1,500 troops to go to Minneapolis. That is civil war. When an army is sent to an American city to take on Americans, that's civil war. Now, you can call it whatever you want. A military action, whatever. Civil fucking war. And they're all for it. And I'm not alone in saying it. Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said, and now that she's out of Congress, she came out and said they are trying to incite a civil war. And she knows she's part of MAGA. They want us to fire upon ICE or fire upon the military, and the military fire back and declare civil war so he thinks he can stop the midterms. Well, Democrats, you can stop all of that this Friday. All of it. All of it. The question is, will you? Will you? Well, I need all of you to contact your senators, whether they're a Democrat or Republican, and tell them, if you vote this week to keep the government open and to fund the DHS and ICE, you are not going to get my vote, and I'm going to campaign against you. That's what you need to say. If you do not block DHS and ICE funding this weekend, then that's it. You're not getting my vote, and I will actively fundraise against you. I don't care if it's for an independent, a Green Party candidate, I don't care. If either of my state senators vote to fund, DHS and ICE in its current incarnation, because we need... All right. We are back. I do too good of a show for only 25 people to be watching right now. On YouTube, I mean, we have lots more listeners, audio listeners. But in terms of video, I have too good of a production here for only 25 people. I don't know what we're going to do about that. I mean, about 300 watch it every day, but only 25 live. Mark Thompson gets thousands of people live, and that's my audience. I was more popular on KGO than Mark Thompson. I'm not slighting him. I'm just saying I was. The same with KFI. I was afternoon fucking drive. So I need to find a way to get the viewership up. Because no offense, but to do all of this, 8 lights and 2 cameras and microphones for 300 views, I'm not complaining. I'm grateful and filled with gratitude. But I need you all to spread the word. I need you all to send the videos out to people. I need an army of people to mobilize and help get the word out about my show. Patreon is fine. We're doing okay. That's where it needs to be. But we need the viewership to get up. So I'm doing all I can. So just whatever you can do. Like, subscribe, comment down below. The algorithm doesn't pick up my videos because they only get 5 or 10 comments. It has to have at least 30 comments from different people, not the same person, for it to even notice you. So I know some of you are older. I know some of you are not really, but I need your help. Talk in the comments down below. We need 30 different people to comment and to interact with each other. Share the video link on your social medias. If you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, subscribe. I have 3,600 subscribers. And I'm blessed. God bless each and every one of them. But 3,600 people are not watching the video every day. So the show needs to expand. People need to hear this. Let's do what we can, okay? Just do what you can. Yep. Yes, I was long before Ethan Behrman and Mark Thompson. I'm OG, honey. I'm it. I am the first gay guy to be out on KFI or KGO. Okay? To have a regular gig. I'm not new to this, and I'm really good at it. So come on. I need your help. You guys are chatting in the chat room, and that's great, but it doesn't pick that up for the algorithm. It picks up the comments down below. I know thousands of you are downloading the audio every day. What the hell's wrong with going to watch the YouTube? Come on. Netflix is starting podcasting. They have podcasts on Netflix. They won't even pay attention to me because of my numbers. So come on. I need an army here. I love you guys, but help me. Don't just be here every day, that's great. But help spread the word. Send the emails out. Send the video links out. Talk about the show. Talk it up. All right. Enough of that. Karel, I remember you were good for you for being an OG fan. How did the Melania Trump get an Einstein visa? Can you believe there's a movie coming out about Melania Trump? By Brett Ratner, who during Me Too got punished for being a gropinator. And now he's made a movie about Melania. If you watch anything, okay, anything, somebody used AI and put Miss Piggy in the Melania trailer. And so instead of it being Melania Trump, it's Miss Piggy. And it looks exactly like the trailer to the movie. Except Miss Piggy is... I would watch that movie, okay? With Miss Piggy as Melania Trump, I'd watch that. No way in hell am I going to go watch... I hope the movie bombs so bad that now no streaming will pick it up. I hope it has to go on the Angel Network, that Christian, the people, the Kirk Cameron network. By the way, did you see a big MAGA concert? There's a big MAGA country concert being headlined by Kid Rock. And Nelly, the rapper, just dropped out of it because of pressure. But Blake Shelton is doing it. That's disappointing to me. Blake Shelton. And Miranda Lambert is doing it. That's disappointing to me. In fact, there's a lot of... Jason Aldean is doing it. And it's a MAGA fest. Look, I know country artists are more prone to be MAGA, but I got to tell you, I thought Blake Shelton was a little more evolved than that. I did. But I guess he's MAGA. I guess he is. It's really sad. Really, really sad. All right, later on in the show, I'm going to show you how to make dog biscuits. You're like, why, when the world is crumbling? Well, why not? Really, why not? Why not have how to make homemade dog biscuits? Why not? The world is crumbling, but Ember needs her treats. Your doggy needs their treats. So she was so good on the trip. God, people on the plane, everyone's like, oh my God, you have a dog? We didn't even know. It's like, she's so good, but I can tell she's aging. And it worries me because she's 10 now. What worries me is traveling with her. It took a lot out of her and I. I got to tell you, I'm fucking old. I'm 63. We flew down on Friday, got to the hotel, went and walked over to dinner, did our mile walk still, went to dinner. I went to a place called Madison Farms, had great vegan options. Oh, their vegan couscous was so good. I wish they had catered the Grammy luncheon. Then my friend Brandon came over to the hotel. His wife and kids were going to come, but they were too tired. I said, great. A man showing up at my hotel at 7 p.m. and I don't even get to sleep with him. And then, we were up, we played ball and all of that. And then I went to bed and then I got up at 5. Amber did not sleep well the whole night. She woke up, so I woke up. So rough night's sleep. And then I did my yoga and then a 2-mile walk at the beach and Amber ran in the sand and it made my heart so joyous to just see her running in the sand. Oh, just so joyous. And then we went back to the hotel, changed, drove to LA, which took an hour and 20 minutes to go 32 miles on a Saturday. Went to the brunch where I carried her the whole time in a bag. Stayed there till 1:45 and then I had to eat. It went till 3, but I didn't get to see the performances because I was hungry. Drove down to a place called Hot Vegan Chicks and had great vegan comfort food on Vine. Drove back, walked another 2 miles, then went to the airport, and then flew home, then did laundry, unpacked. I was beat.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy.
Now it's your time.
You know, I'm thinking about that, and I really was beat. When I got back Saturday night, I thought, I can't do this kind of schedule anymore. I can't. Because I got home, and how many of you, when you get home from a trip, you have to unpack, you have to do laundry, you have to put everything back where it goes that moment. You don't wait till the next day. I know some people, they don't unpack till the next day. Oh, no. The minute I got home, everything had to be unpacked. Then laundry had to start. I had to empty the dishwasher. Then I had to get breakfast ready for the next morning, as I always do. But we got home at 8:45. I didn't go to bed till 11, and I slept until 7 a.m. the next morning, which I never do. And so did Ember. She just was passed the fuck out, just passed out. And I notice now as she's aging, she's sleeping more because her schedule is just, you know. And so then we got up, you know, Sunday morning and did our 2.5 miles and did my 30 minutes of yoga and my weights. And, you know, it's too much. So anyway, in the next segment, we're going to cook dog biscuits. I really, you know, I really have asked myself about going to this next weekend's event. I got most of everything this last weekend free. I used miles for the flight, miles for the hotel. The rental car was only $70. A Kia Niro, great car. Hybrid, charges itself, really great gas mileage. To and from LA on $9 worth of gas. It was a great car. Thank you, Hertz. But I'm just thinking to myself, I felt guilty. I mean, the country's going to shit, and here I'm mingling with, you know, music superstars. I thought, oh, God, I feel kind of guilty. You know, here I'm having rooftop buffets and you know, overlooking the Hollywood sign and Capitol Records. And I'm thinking, the country's going to hell. And here you are acting like, you know, let them eat cake sort of thing. But, you know, life goes on, I guess. And everybody there was totally moved by what was going on in the country. You know, it's not like people weren't oblivious. They were not oblivious. It was a big topic of conversation. But what about you? Is this sort of permeating your life? In other words, do you feel bad because you have it good? I mean, I'm not starving. I'm not waiting in a food line. You know, do you feel badly because you're not shot? You know, we're not in Minneapolis. Your streets, yes, there's ice. There's ice here in Las Vegas. But, you know, most of you haven't been stopped. Most of you are white. Most of you are older. Most of you aren't going to be down at the protest. So while this affects the country and the world, you personally are not being manhandled. You know, you personally don't have someone in your family that's been shot. It wasn't your 5-year-old that was used as bait. So it's really hard right now in America to balance going on about your life and what's going on in the country, because you feel like everything should just stop. You know, that everything's going insane and we need to stop and reset. But only Congress can do that. And they can do that this Friday. We just don't know if they will. You know, we don't know if they will. So we'll see. We'll see. And there are other stories in the news. Have any of you even looked at them? I'm serious. I haven't. I mean, there are other things going on in the world, but it seems like this is just dominating everything. You know, Alex Preddy is the number one thing. Republicans start raising concerns about Minneapolis shooting. Now, you think? Now? Survey says Nevada among one of the worst places to raise a family. I could see that. What else? What else? Senate Democrats and Republicans call for investigation into killing of Alex Preddy. You think? God, if it were you or I that shot, I mean, if we, just because this guy's wearing a vest that says ICE, he gets a pass on murder? Oh, well, there has to be an investigation. We watched the fucking video. What is there to investigate? It is all on tape, from multiple, or on digital, from multiple angles. I mean, what is there to... The New York Times has already investigated. Their conclusion, he was not holding a weapon. He was no threat. He was not attacking the officers. They attacked him. He was helping someone that had been pushed down.
Karel.com.
Showtime is here, no time to fear. Karel is so near because showtime is here. So on with the show, let's give it a go. Karel is the one that you need to know.
Well, anyway, I was just rambling. But truly, I mean, what is there to investigate? We have it all on video. Don't believe our eyes? Don't believe our ears? You're truly going to go that Nazi way? All right, let's change our minds. We all love doggies, right? Even if you don't have one, we all love doggies, right? Sometimes you don't want to getting to buy dog treats are too expensive, and for the good ones, the ones with just clean ingredients, it's too much money. It's like $12 a bag. Well, guess what? I'm going to show you how to make them more cheaply. Here you go.
Now it's showtime.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to my kitchen. So my little girl, where is she? Where are you, little love bug? There she is, right over there. She's out of treats. And I don't really trust store-bought stuff a lot anymore. I don't. I make my own nut milk. I make them my own everything. And you'd be amazed how easy it is to make your own treats. Now, I have this fabulous little device here by Dash, okay? And if you look at that. It makes little dog bones. Now you can get that online for under $25. You don't have to have it. You can bake these. You can form them into little cookies and bake them at 350 for about 13 minutes. So you don't have to have the little thing to make them into dog bones, but it's for embers. So how do you make your own dog bones? Well, let me set you down here. All righty. I haven't tried this before with this camera. So, we're going to make our own dog bones, and the first thing we're going to do is a cup of flour. Okay? Cup of flour. A half cup of pureed pumpkin. Okay? Just right out of the can. Make sure it is 100% pumpkin and not pumpkin pie filling. You do not want cinnamon or nutmeg in there. So just half a cup of pureed pumpkin. Now, you can either use 3 tablespoons of peanut butter, but I use a 1/4 cup of peanut butter powder. Why, Karel? Because Ember has a cholesterol issue, and I want to make sure that I'm keeping her fats down. Even though it's good fat in peanut butter, there's still a lot. So she gets her fat throughout the day. So a 1/4 cup of peanut butter powder. There we go. And then you can use 1 egg. However, I don't have eggs because I'm a vegan. And so far, this is vegan, by the way. But Ember is not a vegan. So 1 flaxseed egg, which is basically 1 tablespoon of flax meal, 3 tablespoons of water, and you get a flax egg. Put that in there. And now, you don't have to add this, but I add some because I love my little girl. This is dehydrated beef liver. So what I do, let me reach over here. Excuse me, everybody. I go to the store and I buy beef liver. And then, of course, I have a dehydrator. You should, too. My Brava oven dehydrates, as does my regular dehydrator outside. I keep it outside. And this is dehydrated liver, okay? And then I simply use the NutriBullet and I grind it up into a powder. It makes a great topping for her food, and she loves it. So, sprinkle some dehydrated beef liver in there, because she's going to love it. Then, put it on your KitchenAid stand mixer. Don't you have a KitchenAid stand mixer? You can buy them used, refurbished, thrift stores. And have a little water on standby. All right, now come over here and start this a-mixing. You're gonna need a little more water because I don't reconstitute the peanut butter powder before putting it in. You can do that and then you'll have to put in less water. There we go. Look at that. Now you don't want the batter too soupy. You don't want it to like just pour right out of there. You want it to be, you know, like a dough batter, like a biscuit. It's like biscuits, you're making biscuits. You're gonna wanna spray it with a neutral oil, avocado, olive. Dogs can have those oils. You just don't wanna use too much of it. You're not frying these after all. You're baking them. Now, if you don't have a dog biscuit or waffle iron, you can make them in a waffle iron. Then take this, okay? You can bake it in a loaf pan and cut it up. You can make it into little cookies. Leave it a little thicker if you're gonna make it into cookies or something like that. Just adjust it for how you're going to be cooking it, okay? And by the way, if it's a little too sloppy, just add a little more flour. All right, now, let's get you looking down here. Okay, now, spray. Take your batter. Fill up your bone. They're soft in the middle, if you want them to be. If you leave them out in the air after you cook them, you just leave them out, they'll get brittle. But if you keep them in the fridge, they'll stay soft. Now, close this. I put pressure on it. You don't have to do that. All right, you're gonna leave that for 6 minutes on each side. So after 6 minutes, turn them over, 6 minutes more. If you're baking this in the oven, 350 for 12 to 15 minutes, whether they're biscuits, cookies, little muffins. If you have a little muffin pan, little mini muffins, you can just put them in the little mini muffin pan. Yeah, oh, I never thought of that, but you could do that. Here. This is my Brava muffin pan. You could just put it at the bottom and then each one would make 6. Again, adjust them for the size of your dog. Amber's little. So there we go. So in 6 minutes, I'll show you what it looks like when we turn them over, okay? Okay. Okay, it's been 6 minutes. Let's see what we got. Oh, I'm so excited. There they are. Oh, aren't those beautiful? Now we need to turn them over. They will burn your fingers, FYI. Obviously, if you're baking them, you don't need to turn them over. There we go. Close it down. Let that go for another 4 minutes, and they're done! Woo! And she approves, trust me. You'll see in a minute. Okay, we're there. They're done. There they are. They are fabulously done. We will take them out and set them on a paper towel, because that's what to do. I should set you down, because I need 2 hands for this. There you go. And we're going to get 2, maybe 3 batches. So that's a ton, and it costs you not much of anything. And watch this. Here's a little crunch. Oh, she loved these little crunchies. She loves them. We were having lunch, so she's in her lunch chair. Okay. Are you ready? Do you want some? Oh, look at that. Ember approved. So if you want Ember approved dog biscuits, go ahead and make this. I should sell these. I really should. I should just do this a couple times a day, package them up and sell them to you. Maybe I will. Now I've got more to make because I got a little girl to feed. Well, her treats, of course. But here they are. Beautiful little dog. Now if you leave these out, just out, they'll get crunchy. Leave them in the fridge, they'll stay soft in the middle. And there you go. Bon appetit. All right, there we go. Now, like I said, you don't have to have one of those little dash things, But on my website, reallykarel.com, this afternoon, I'm going to put the link. So later this afternoon, go to veganinvegas.com or reallykarel.com, and I will go ahead. And if you forget about how to get to my website, just anywhere on the web, type in karel.media, Karel.media. It'll bring you right there. I'm thinking of rebranding, by the way. I'd like your thoughts on this. I'm going to change the name of Vegan in Vegas to vegoutin.world. So vegoutin.world. And that way, no matter where I am in the world, I can do things about vegan eating and plant-based eating, and some vegetarian if you're not a vegan. But instead of being Vegan in Vegas, I can be vegoutin.world. And the word out I'm using specifically because I'm gay. So vegoutin.world. I like that better than Vegan in Vegas. So I think I'm going to rebrand. We'll see. We'll see if that's available. But anyway, yeah, I was having fun. And see, that's my dilemma. Doing what you just saw right there was fun for me. Doing the video, actually, I had to make the dog treats. I mean, I have to for Ember. And that was fun for me. But that kind of show in these kinds of times is not what my core audience is really used to. So I'm kind of trapped. I have to do politics. I have to talk about ICE and all of that when I'd rather be baking dog biscuits and selling them to you. I would bake them all day and sell them if it made enough money. That's, because that's where I'm at. Because it's so hard to think about all the terror going on in the world right now. It really, truly is. And we're in the worst times ever. I've never experienced worse times. Under Ronald Reagan, people weren't, out in the streets killing each other. Reagan didn't send people to kill us. Under George Bush, he killed soldiers, did war crimes, but the general populace was pretty safe. But now, we don't even know if we're safe anymore. Private jet carrying 8 people crashes in Bangor in Maine. That's sad. Don't fly during a storm. I'm a little torn on what Netflix did. So there's a Las Vegas resident named Alex Honnold. I've seen him out in Red Rock multiple times. And he climbed Yosemite, the big, what is it? In Yosemite, the big, oh God, why am I forgetting the name of the big mountain in Yosemite? But anyway, he climbed it free with no ropes. So Netflix paid him a ton of money to climb a high rise, I think in Dubai, with no ropes, like 110 stories, 120 stories. And when you were watching it, you realized he could die at any moment. And I just wasn't sure that was good television. I'm like, should we be watching this? Should we be encouraging this? I mean, I know he would have done it he would have just done it. That's who he is. But I didn't watch it. It was too stress-inducing. I've seen him free climb, but El Capitan, thank you, Half Dome, El Capitan. He did it with no ropes. He free climbed it. And they made a movie out of that. And now Netflix paid him to free climb a skyscraper. And he did. People were inside greeting him on every floor and everything, and he could have fallen at any moment and died. There was no way to catch him from 110 feet. 0 ropes, no safety harness. Of all the don't try this at homes, that was one of them. And I do love that Mayor Mondami in New York told everyone to stay home because of the storm. And he said, read Heated Rivalry. I love that this gay soccer or hockey show has taken over the world. Connor Story, and Hayden, whatever his name is, the other guy, Connor Story, and the other guy, Hayden something. Hudson Williams, whatever. They got to carry the Olympic torch together. They should be lovers. They're not, but they should be. But yeah, the mayor of New York was like, stay home, it's a terrible storm. Read Heated Rivalry. Love that. I really do. What else is in the news that we're looking at today? There's just so much. Embarrassed. A force to be reckoned with. Americans on Trump's foreign policy. Yeah. America feels like a country on the brink of authoritarian takeover. That's from The Guardian. 'Cause we are. The Democrats could stop it this Friday, or at least start to stop it. We'll see if they do. I don't know. Yeah, The Guardian. America feels like a country on the brink of authoritarian takeover. Wow. So the whole world sees what's going on. They really do. Why don't more Americans? Why is it just us? Why doesn't everybody get it? Are they that stupid? Well, they voted for Trump.
Patreon is the way to show you care. Subscribe today if you dare. Keep the show on there. Patreon is the way. Now it's showtime.
I do want to put 10 of those biscuits in a bag and sell them for $20. I do. But then I'm part of the problem. I could sell them maybe for $10. It cost about $1 a bit. Well, no, I make 20. You make 20 in a batch. So how much is a cup of flour and a third a cup of peanut butter powder, or a quarter cup of peanut butter powder and half a cup of pumpkin and a flaxseed egg? That's probably about $5 worth of ingredients. So it cost me $5 to make 20. So if I were to sell them each for $20, for 10 each, for $10, so $20 a batch, I'd make $15. I could do that. Should price it out and sell them. You guys would buy them. Ember's Edibles. Yeah, why not? You know, I don't want to sell them more than 10 because they got to stay fresh. You know, they'll mold because they're fresh ingredients, you know. That's what I found out about my nut milk, said the gay man. My nut milk was getting thick after day 4, and I asked ChatGPT why. And it said, you're using too much oil and hemp seeds. Stop. Just use the nuts and a teaspoon of oil, not a tablespoon, and leave out the hemp seeds and the sugar. If you want it sweet, sweeten it when you do it. Because the sugar, the hemp seeds, and the oil were all combining to ferment the nut milk. So I made new almond milk this morning because I went on a trip. And I used in my Mio mat. I love my Mio mat. I'm going to put that on my website too. Mio mat. MIOMAT. It's a nut milk maker. And I put the almonds, the cashews in there, a teaspoon of avocado oil and no sugar and no hemp seeds. And it tastes so good. My cocoa this morning was delicious. Of course, I had a little Chambord in it. Raspberry liqueur, Chambord. Hot cocoa made from cacao powder, nut milk, half a tablespoon of sugar, and half a shot of Chambord. Child, it'll set you right for the show. Oh, yes, it will. So good. And you see, I could talk about this stuff all day. As a vegan, I love to talk about these sort of things and how to make nut milk, how to make, how to do this, how to do that. It sure beats talking about the poor Mr. Preddy who was, shot down and murdered. And how Republicans are, we should have an inquest. No, you should watch the fucking video. The guy should already be arrested. Can you imagine if it was Biden that had sent in ICE, which he never would have done. But can you imagine if it was MAGA protesting? Can you imagine if on January 6th, the military had started killing and shooting, which they should have done, by the way, killing and shooting the protesters? There would still be trials. Can you imagine? MAGA would have lost their fucking minds. But because it's liberals being shot, it's non-MAGA people being shot, no one's losing their minds. It only matters if you oppose them. They're bullies. Donald Trump is the biggest bully there is. And he's killing people that oppose him. Democrats vow to oppose Homeland Security funding bill. Well, do it. Don't just vow. increasing the chance of a shutdown. Okay. There is not a progressive or liberal in this country that wants them to keep the government open if it means funding ICE. There's not one. If there is, I haven't talked to them. Every progressive that I've spoken to says, shut it down. If it stops the killing, shut it down. Can you imagine? Renee Good had a family. She had a wife. She had a dog. She had kids. They're all missing her now. She had plans. She had hopes. Alex Preddy, the same thing. He was a nurse. He believed in social justice and fairness. To die being shot in the street like Kristi Noem would shoot a dog, it's really, that should be enough to end it. Why does there need to be any more violence? Why does there need to be any more anything before it's over? Before the government, before the governors of the state get the National Guard out there against ICE? No one wants to stop them from doing their legal job, from arresting and deporting criminal immigrants that are here illegally, with due process, with a warrant sworn out by a judge. No one wants to stop them from legally doing their job. But what they're doing isn't legal. Do you know how I know? Because Kristi Noem had to tell them they're immune. What they are doing is not legal. Murder is not legal. Detaining a 5-year-old to use as bait, that's a cartel tactic. That's not legal. They're doing illegal activities. We all support the legal implementation of immigration law. We do not support the illegal use of ICE as a paramilitary force against your enemies. And they're only in blue states. This is not happening in Texas, where there are more illegal immigrants than almost any other state. It's not happening in the South. It's happening in Minnesota, in California, Oregon, blue states. This is a targeted political attack on people that did not vote for this regime. That's illegal, unethical, immoral, and we should be above it as a nation. We should rise above this. Democrats, you have the chance. This Friday, you have the chance to actually do something. And not fund the government on a promise that they'll have hearings over ICE. Nope. You have our approval. We want you to shut down the government if it means shutting down the DHS and ICE until it can be reformed. We want you to do it. I am Karel. Be who you want to be. Don't hurt anybody. We'll see you tomorrow, Tuesday. Hope you had a good time today. Check out the website, patreon.com/reallykarel and reallykarel.com. And of course, subscribe at YouTube.
It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service. You're listening to the Karel Cast. Driving you home or driving you crazy. It's broadcasting from a completely different point of view. Yours. Listen daily to the Karel Cast on your favorite streaming service.